Hello and welcome to another therapy session with Mr. Miracle. Today we are off the board. We want to discuss a little about mindsets. Okay, so I want to send a special shout out to all my fans out there, everyone engaging with my content from across the world. Special shout out to Suresh from India and all the Indian fans, those from Romania, Malaysia, South Africa, United States, Nigeria. Please, if I didn't mention your country, it's because it has not appeared on my analytics, but a special shout out to you also. I want to discuss something that I also find important and disturbing as well, because when it comes to mindset, it also plays a whole role on how a child's attitude is toward math. Now, on a general scale, mindset affects our lifestyles. So if we have sustained a kind of mindset about math, it's definitely gonna go a long way to also impede or actually impact on our ideas on the concept of mathematics. So we go straight into this, but before then, let's have a short break. Okay, welcome back from that break. Straight into it, mindset. How are mindsets formed? Before then, when a child is born, the child is born with a clean slate. Psychologically, we understand that the child knows nothing and the child's mind is empty at the point of birth. So at the ages or between the ages of 0 and 7, the child's subconscious mind is open. So whatsoever that child learns at that point sticks to the child's subconscious between the ages of 0 and 7. So to say, also as human beings, psychologically, we live from our subconscious. That means our actions are mostly spontaneous because we live from our subconscious. Now, psychologically also, we are made to understand that every action we take within the space of a day is 85% from the subconscious, 10% from the conscious, and 5% from the unconscious. So, how does this work? Let me explain. The subconscious holds the foundation, the basis for your living. So, whether or not you want to wake in the morning, you will wake once it is morning. Whether or not you want to eat, you may become hungry. If you are not hungry, it means you have a biological defect. That one, no problem. But if you are living in a day, everything you do that day comes from the subconscious. Okay? So your conscious mind are the decisions you take consciously based on the logic, based on what you are seeing with your eyes. So you can take those decisions. Then the the unconscious are reflex actions. Mostly in biology, we call breathing a reflex action, and blinking also. When you blink your eyes, it's also a reflex action. So back to the subconscious. Now, the subconscious, as we can see, rules 80% to 85% of your life or of your daily activity. It forms your belief system. It activates your actions every day. So how then do we get things into our subconscious? Like I said from the beginning, when you're born from ages 0 to 7, everything that you learn at that time sticks or moves directly to your subconscious. Any other thing you are about to learn after this age of 7 that will sink into your subconscious must have to be put in there by an effort. And there are 3 basic ways they can go in. The first way is by repetition. So when you repeat something for a long time, that is when it stays on your conscious mind for a long time, it sinks into your subconscious. Then 2, by tragic situations. So when something happened tragically to you, it is hard for it to be deleted. So it moves directly into the subconscious. Then when things happens that gets you excited, it moves directly into the subconscious because you are excited. So these are the 3 ways. What did I say again? Repetition, tragic situations, and exciting situations. So now look at how this works. As a child, let's not say as a child, as a parent, your child comes home, your child is less than 7 and shows you his or her result, and you say, oh, your result is good, but your math is bad. And the child say, yes, daddy, yes, mommy, and you say, oh, okay, it's normal, okay? You tell the child, okay, math is hard, okay, I understand, math is hard. Do you know what you just did? You just spoke to the brain of that child to lock down every neural pathway that helps the child to understand math. What you say to that child's brain is, you can do well in other subjects, but anything you get in math is acceptable. So you just taught that child to become a mediocre. So it is very important what we say to children of that age, because it forms a mindset that will later make or mar them in future. So now, see the basics, see where I'm driving at now. So a child all his life before age 7 has learned from both parents, from even the teacher in the school, that math is difficult. So that now places the child in a position where the brain has already recorded that anything that has to do with numbers, digits, basic operations, addition, multiplication, subtraction, division, it is hard. So the child grows up. Now the child is in high school, and there comes this math problem or math teacher teaching, and the child is sitting right in that class with a pedestal in his heart or in his mind, knowing that whatsoever the teacher is teaching is difficult. You see that? It was built from childhood, so it has become a stronghold, it has become a mindset, it has become a thought pattern sustained for a while. So that thinking pattern will stop the child from understanding. Now at that stage, the child now comes home again and say, today's math algebra was so difficult, and you as a parent says, yeah, it has always been difficult. You now at this point, there is a stronghold, there is a mindset already built. Now at this point, you're bringing repetition, which is also a way of teaching the subconscious how to act. So you are now adding salt upon injury with that. So by repetition, you're furthering locking up, or you're locking up further the child's mind, the child's subconscious, that math is hard. So with that, it has become something so difficult for the child. Not really because it is difficult, but because the child was taught so, and it has been confirmed now that the child is no longer a child, that this thing you knew actually was difficult is really difficult. So because of that, the child now feels it's difficult. So whatsoever you do, no matter how skilled you are as a teacher, you cannot get that child to understand math. So the first point of call is what we are doing now, the therapy section. How to first of all teach the child's mind that whenever you say it is possible, the brain forms neural pathways that begins to go forth to help you understand any concept that you think it is possible, or anything you think possible or you see possible. the actions of the brain actually put you in the motion, in the mood, and every other thing begins to align for you to understand. So every other thing begins to align for you to understand. So it is that simple. It is very simple. So the first point of call for such students, I would say, instead of trying to junk them with things, remember we are talking about the subconscious here. Before you take off something from the subconscious, really there is nothing you can actually take off from the subconscious. It will be there. But how do you live? Now, what you do is to suppress whatsoever is there, to live with a new and a superior mindset. So what we do is we learn and we unlearn. So the process of unlearning is not necessarily throwing away what is there. It's just suppressing it so that the new knowledge can come in. Okay? So the new knowledge in this context is to get the child always to affirm to himself that I understand math, I understand numbers, I am good at numbers, I excel in math, I understand algebra. Calculus is so simple to deal with. So that begins to form the neural pathway for the child to actually access this subject easily. So it's very important. So like I said, 3 things helps to educate the subconscious mind, which is where we live from. Repetition, tragic or exciting situations. So of course you can't create any tragic scenario to make your child learn. It's not going to be funny. And of course, if you take the exciting parts, you may not really get a very good result, because the day the teaching is not exciting, the child will not get it. So we take the repetition. So from the repetition, you get the child to always affirm that it is easy, simple, and can be learned. So when you do that, it helps the child's mind and the brain to develop neural pathways that will get the child to learn. So repetition now is the key. Remember in our previous video, we talked about practice that bets perfection. So in this case, you don't get such a child to practice. You get not to practice maths per se, but you get the child to practice the affirmations that math is easy. Math is not difficult. I succeed at math. I'm good at math. I'm an A+ student with math. So with that, it becomes easy for the child. Yes, you know, the way I'm saying it, it seems, oh, it's like a magic, but that's what it is. You don't have to do any other thing. There are no drugs to help the child's cognitive ability, no drug to boost the child's IQ per se. But these affirmations will actually broaden the horizon of the child's mind, and within a few weeks, you will discover that the child, with your skills and expertise in math or teaching of math, the child will begin to pick up. Like we said initially in this video, IQ is not the goal, it's not the benchmark. IQ doesn't make you the best. Practice does. So I leave you with this word. Practice. Continuous practice. Consistent practice. That's perfection. So if you've not subscribed, please do so. And if you have any challenge, you need us for a therapy session, a one-on-one session, a live session on Zoom, on Google Meet, or even here on YouTube, you can reach out to us from anywhere in the world. And we are glad to extend our hands of fellowship, and we'll be glad to help. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you, my subscribers. Thank you, viewers. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.